Welcome to Million Hour Workweek, where we learn the stories and work life of entrepreneurs so that if you are looking to start this type of business, you'll have a little insight into what it takes to start, run, and successfully profit off a business like this. And for the community to learn a little bit more about the person behind the business. Today I have here with me Sean Adair from Pier 51. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Sun's shining and the water's going down, so it's going to be a good weekend.
Perfect. Okay, what does your guys' marina offer?
We offer a lot. We have 275 wet-covered slips from 20 foot all the way to 90 foot, and the larger slips are golf cart accessible. We also have a full-service department that services Suzuki, Honda, Mercury, Mercruiser, Volvo, Yamaha, pretty much everything. We're the only marina on the lake that can pull up to a 80, 85-foot houseboat and service those, so that's great. We have a floating restaurant. I lease that out to a company out of Manfred, Winds on the Water. We have a full service store, ship store with gas and food, T-shirts, hats, anything you could want, lake related. And we also offer 10 rental boats.
Nice. Wow, that's a big variety.
And I have 30 dry storages as well. So.
Oh, perfect. What goes in a dry storage?
People that don't want to put their boat in the water for the season at all, they just want to pull into the dry storage, back it down the ramp, and then when they leave to go home, they just put it back in a covered storage.
Nice.
It's a little bit cheaper than a slip.
Yeah. Where are you located at?
We are inside of Keystone State Park, which is out from downtown Tulsa, Sand Springs. We're about 15 minutes west of downtown Tulsa, off of Highway 51 or 64-412.
What falls under your responsibility as general manager?
The whole gamut, the whole marina. I'm responsible. I'm the guy that I either get a lot of the compliments or a lot of the complaints, but I'm the guy that has to put the fires out, keep everything moving throughout the season. We have a very short season in Oklahoma because of weather, so it can last anywhere from 5 months, sometimes 6 months, but after school starts, people start slacking off and going to the lake because kids are back in sports and activities. But we hire 7 staff full-time year-round. And then in the summertime, we hire anywhere from 10 to 16 kids to work at the ship store.
Nice.
And you have to with that many rental boats.
Yeah, absolutely. If there was a boater coming in from out of town, what would that experience look like for them?
It totally depends. A lot of people get us confused with the state park as well, and they think that we're the same company, which we're not. State park has all the campground and RV spots and tent camping. And people assume when they come in that the marina is owned by the state park, and it's not. It's privately owned. So we're in a lease inside of the state park. So everything behind our fence is private, technically private property. There's a lot of arguments about that throughout the year. I get people, it's like, I'm a taxpayer. I can use this. I'm like, no, you can't.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
You said, unfortunately, the taxes don't go towards this.
But we deal with a lot of out-of-town people all the time. They come in. If we have an overnight slip or a transient slip, we can lease them. A lot of times we're full, so we don't have the space. But they're able to put their boat in the marina for a weekend and stay in the campground at the state park. And, everything that you could want is inside that state park. They have cabins, RV spots, like I said, tent camping. And we have rental boats. And in our little ship store has everything, beer, water, wine coolers, anything you can need. We have food, sandwiches, and then the restaurant, of course, is open Thursday through Sunday. And they have karaoke, live music. They'll do acoustic acts every once in a while on a Sunday afternoon, but there's really not much or any reason you'd ever have to really leave the state park once you got inside of it.
Nice. So it's truly like a full-service weekend experience.
It absolutely is. And that's our vision statement with our company. We're owned by a company out of Austin, Texas. It's VIP Marinas, and we have 15 marinas all the way into the Bahamas now. So it's to create destination marinas, to be a destination marina that creates positive memories that last a lifetime. So that's what we hope our whole goal is, everybody comes in there to have fun, and sometimes it's hard when you have customer-related issues that kind of get sour sometimes, but we try to knock those out as best we can. But the whole experience is you're dealing with people that are there to have fun. It's their vacation every weekend, and they pay a lot of money to be there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. How long have you been in the general manager position?
I've been in the general manager position for 11 years. I have worked at the marina since 1988.
Wow.
So I've left a couple times, came back. It was always for brief stints for 1 or 2 years. That marina has changed hands so many times since I started there, at least 6 different ownerships. And the only thing that was always the same or certain for me was I was always staying. Everybody else would leave or whatever, then they would call me and be like, hey, you want to come back?
Yeah.
I ran the service department for over 25 years, so I went through all the Mercruiser, Mercury, OMC, Johnson, Evinrude schools. And so I was the guy, when I started, I was young and eager. And so anytime they offered a class or schooling or education, I took it.
Yeah.
It just made me worth more. And a lot of people just didn't ever want it. They just sat back and let me just keep moving up. And so it paid off for me in the end. So
yeah, absolutely. Hard work does get
it
you there.
It does.
Growing up, what did you think you'd be doing?
So it's funny. I always wanted to go into radio and TV.
Really?
I did. I had a second cousin out in L.A. that worked on KXLA or something like that. He was an anchor guy. And every time he would call our house when we were kids, he had that voice. He had that old school, deep, just enunciated his words perfectly. And this guy hung out with Marilyn Monroe back in the day, Jim Morrison, so he had a lot of stories to tell. He'd been out there since the 50s. And so he was always trying to get me into that side of the business. And so when I graduated my senior year, his gift to me for my graduation was a trip to L.A. to come out. He was going to introduce me to the biz. My parents weren't too hip for that. They were worried, some young country kid, naive from Oklahoma, never been out in the big city before, would go out there and possibly get corrupt or, have a bad experience. So they talked me out of it. So I never made that trip. But I started a band. I was in choir in high school, and I started a band shortly after high school. And it was funny because one of the first stages I ever sang on was at Pier 51 Marina.
Oh, yeah?
I was working there, and there was an acoustic act playing, and one of the guys I knew from school worked in the kitchen, so he went and told him that I was a singer. So next thing you know, the guy's calling my name on the microphone, and I'm like, what?
He said, how do you know me?
Yeah, and he goes, well, here, you can sing. Get on up here and sing. And I was like, I don't know anything. And he was like, give me a country song. So I only knew 2 country songs at the time. Randy Travis, Forever and Ever Amen, and George Strait's The Chair.
Absolutely.
So I was so nervous because I'd never done that individually. I always did it with a group in school. So when I got up there, I said, okay, I'll do this, but I'm not turning around and looking at the crowd.
Yeah.
So I stood and looked out the window of the restaurant while they ran me through my 2 songs. And after I got done, everybody was clapping and excited. And he was just like, hey, that was pretty good. He goes, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. Why don't you work up learn a couple more songs? And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. So that just turned into a thing that summer. And then a friend of mine from school, his parents were out there eating one night. They heard me sing, and they were like, wow, we had no idea you could sing like that. And I'm like, I guess I didn't either. So a friend of theirs in DP, Oklahoma, had a country music theater. And they said, hey, you need to call this guy. He wants to hear you. So I call him. He's like, yeah, come in on Friday. We do rehearsals on Friday. I'm like, okay.
All right.
So that morphed into every weekend they had a house band, and I would just bring the song I wanted to sing, and they would get me up with the full band, and I started singing. And one night this fill-in bass player named Jay Langford pulls me to the side, and he goes, hey, man, he goes, you want to start a band? And I'm like, dude, I don't know anything about starting a band. And he was probably 20 years older than me.
Yeah.
And he'd been doing it for years, since the 60s. He said, I'll tell you what, I'll put it together. You don't have to do anything. He said, all you got to do is show up and sing. And I'm like, all right. So they put it together down in Stroud, Oklahoma, and rehearsed a few weekends, and then called me and said, come on. So I drove down there and got up nervous as all could be, and it took me a long time to get over the stage fright part of it, probably years, honestly, because it's intimidating. And not ever feeling, not knowing. I just didn't have a lot of good self-confidence. I was like, oh, that song sucked. That was horrible. But everybody was just like, man, that's great. That's great. And so that took off, and I was still working at the marina. And so that's been my path ever since. Both of them kind of chose me. I showed up at the marina in 1988 for a summer job, and they didn't have anything other than, they said, can you clean a boat? I'm like, sure.
Yeah.
So I start cleaning boats for 2 weeks. Salesman comes up to me one day, the sales manager, and he said, hey, can you pull a boat with a truck? And I'm like, yeah, I've been doing that all my life. He said, well, we need you to deliver a boat in Stroud, and you're going to take this contract. They're going to sign it here. You're going to get a check for this amount, give them this copy, and then come back. Like, easy. On the way home, the truck broke down. So I had to walk to a parts store, bought a starter. And back in those days, you could buy a starter for a truck for like $25. So I buy one, go back down the road, and the only tools in the truck was a pair of ice grips. But that's how I grew up working, and I took it off, put the starter on, go back to the marina, give them my receipt, and the office manager comes out and gets the marina or the sales manager and says, hey, he said that he put a starter on the truck and he's wanting $25 back. $25 was a lot of money to me in 1988, so I needed it. Yeah. And he said, he did what? So they go get the service manager. He comes out, crawls under the truck, looks, comes out, and he goes, that's a new starter. He said, how'd you know how to do that? And I said, well, I took auto mechanics in Votech in high school. And he said, so you're mechanical? I'm like, yeah, I got a toolbox at my dad's garage. And he goes, why are you cleaning boats? I said, that was the only job you said you had.
Yeah, you offered me that
So my
job.
story's weird the way that happened. And so the next day they're like, go get your tools and bring them to the shop. You're in the shop. Nice. And so that's how my growth there started. I was just like, can I go to school? And they're like, sure. So they just started sending me out, getting me certified. And anytime there was a position a little bit higher than what I was doing open, I was like, could I do that? And they're like, sure. So my music took off at the same time. So I was playing, for years we played every casino in the state of Oklahoma. I played Tunica, Mississippi at the Harris down there, Harris Casino in Kansas City. I played at the Bluebird Cafe. I got invited to come sing at the Bluebird in Nashville.
Nice.
Had a lot of stuff popping off at the same time. But the downside to that was in 2005, I got an opportunity to be a partner in the marina. So I came along as a partner. And then in about 2010, I was traveling back and forth to Nashville, still playing casinos. It was tough for me because I was working full-time still. All my band guys were full-time musicians. Yeah. So we would play Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. And so I would leave work early on a Thursday, drive 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it was, so change in the parking lot, put my boots on and, go in and sing and then get home at 3 o'clock in the morning and get up and go to work. Man. And I did that for years. And I had a lot of cool stuff in Nashville happening. And a guy that had been Keith Urban's manager was starting to work with me. And everybody was like, you need to live here. You need to live here. So I made that decision with my wife. I was just going to leave and go down to Nashville, get an apartment, and start doing that. That was the dream. And when I approached my partners about that, they were like, well, you walk away from this, you walk away with nothing. So I would have lost my ownership. Yeah. And I had to kind of step back and look at that. It was disheartening. Still one of those things I kind of regret not doing, but I believe that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And sometimes those reasons aren't clear or right in front of your face. So but I kept on going for about another 10 years, and then I just finally quit doing it. It's a lot of work, especially when you have a full-time job and you try to play 2 and 3 nights a week, and your whole weekend's consumed by it. Yeah. And then you get one day off on Sunday to rest and spend time with your family, and half the time you're exhausted. And so that was not really the Anchorman, the radio stuff was my dream that I thought all through school I wanted to do. That just never morphed into that. And then once I got on the stage, that kind of took that part of it away, and I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. Do you feel like your part in ownership of a business that's doing that well kind of outweighed the possibility of what could have been a singing career? Because honestly, that's a bigger gamble than owning a marina.
That's a tough question. I sold out my ownership to my partners in 2014. Oh, okay. And then they sold out their ownership to a guy that owns it now in Austin, Texas. So I have no ownership in it at all. And I was going to leave. I thought, I was going to buy a music store. I was like, I'm going to go do this now. Yeah. The new owner came in town and threw me his plan. It was like, you're going to be the general manager. I'm like, I don't know if I want that. Yeah. So I made him call me the interim general manager for about 3 months because I was like, I'm not sure. I had money in the bank, and my wife and I actually invested it and bought a dry cleaners. And so we had that going. So I had opportunity or options to do other things. I just was like, I don't know. Yeah. So after 3 months of that, he flew up one day, and he says, "Hey, you're just my general manager."
He said there's no more
I'm
interim.
like, okay. And then that was kind of when I stopped playing the music. It's tough because when you're a general manager, everybody's got your cell phone number. You're on call 24/7. And, being up, if there was ever an accident or emergency at the marina, being on stage at a casino, you're not allowed to have your phones up there.
Yeah.
So
it just wouldn't work.
It wasn't a good fit
yeah.
at the time. So
yeah.
I was discouraged by it for a while. And my guitar player that had been with me from the start one day told me, he said, "You know what?" He said, "Sometimes God wrecks your plans before your plans wreck you." And I was so mad. I was like, I don't know what that means. That's stupid.
Yeah.
And then the years, you think about it. And I said, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "Well, you've got a wife, you've got kids, you've got a family, a home, and a good career." He said, "And if you would have went to Nashville," he said, "I have no doubt you would have made it." He said, "But look at what the probability is of you not having a wife and kids."
Yeah.
It's a tough business to be in. And he's right, because every time I'd go down there, the nightlife in Nashville and the songwriter stuff doesn't start till about 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
And those clubs stay open till 4 a.m., 5 a.m., but that's where the action is. That's where the people that you need to be in front of are. So it's pretty tiring. It's like sleep all day and get up and go out at night.
Yeah.
And it's hard not to get caught up in those vices of, everybody's drinking a beer, everybody's doing this.
Yeah.
So I look at it now. I'm a grandfather. I've got a grandson getting ready to be 2 years old, and I sit and think, I've got a really good life.
Yeah. Beautiful life.
Yep.
A job you love.
Yeah.
Yeah. When people think of a marina, they picture a relaxing day on the lake. I have a feeling your day looks a little bit different than that. So would you walk me through what a normal day looks like for you?
I always tell people the marina makes my schedule.
Oh, perfect.
Because people will be like, "Hey, can I have a meeting with you on this date, this time?" I'm like, "We can try." But if something goes wrong, I have a maintenance guy, but I do a lot of my own. I do all the diving at the marina. So there's cables and anchors that hold the docks in place, and so I'm the guy that gets in the water and does it. A lot of people are like, "Why does the general manager have to do that?" And it's not that I have to do it. It's just when you hire a company to come do it, they charge you a lot of money. It's not something everybody can do. And when I look at the bottom line, it saves us money at the company. And I do just a little bit more than any of the other marinas that we have out of the 15. Some days I don't like it. It's dangerous work. It's like in the wintertime when the water temperature's in the 30s, 40s. I got to get in a wetsuit and get under there and run cables. It's trying to exhaust you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a typical day, I mean, we're closed. The office is closed on Sundays and Mondays, so our week is Tuesday through Saturday. I don't know. It's fun. You can get on a boat anytime you want, but my main job is to keep the customers happy. So there's a lot of visiting interaction with the customers, going up and down the docks. And sometimes if I go to one dock on a Saturday and I don't make it to any other docks, I'll hear something about, "Oh, you like F dock better than you do E dock, or you like E dock better than you do D dock."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, come on."
Yeah.
Their customers are down there cooking breakfast, cooking lunch, cooking dinner. Here's a Bloody Mary. People are always offering you stuff. So we have a great group of people. Occasionally you get that one customer that kind of makes the whole marina seem like it's the whole marina, and it's not. It's like one customer at the end of the day, we could have over 500 customers, 275 slips, and you times that by 2, and everybody's got kids and grandkids and dogs. We're a very pet-friendly marina.
Yeah.
Dogs come in the office, and we have treats for them, and they know it, so they know where to go to get them.
That's so sweet.
But there's a lot that goes into it. There's contracts, and the rental boats. People don't realize the liability of rental boats. I mean, you're taking people that have probably never driven a boat in their entire life, and you're putting them on a 28-foot tri-tune and sending them out on the lake all day long, and it's kind of nerve-wracking at times. But knock on wood, our kids are very good at the check-ins and check-outs, and we have a lot of waivers and releases that the customers sign. But like ordering fuel, you have to stay on top of your fuel levels and stuff. So there's throughout the week going into the holiday or any holiday weekend or regular weekend, you have to just sit there and kind of go through your mental checklist of, have I done this? Are we good here? But Mother Nature is our biggest enemy.
Yeah.
Because it can dump rain on us. We can flood. We can have a windstorm come through. In 2023, we had a Father's Day windstorm. We were rocking and rolling, getting ready to have a great summer, and this storm came through and did about $4 million worth of damage to the marina. So
wow.
your summer gets changed at that
Yes, absolutely. What do you have to do before the customers even arrive in the morning?
Our staff shows up early. The main customers would be the rental boat customers. They show up early, get the boats uncovered, wipe them down, make sure they're clean. And they have a little list of who is assigned what boat. So each kid gets a boat. So when it goes out, they got to check it out, do all the walkthroughs. And when it comes in, they receive it. They fill it up with gas, bill the customer, and then, of course, get tipped. And that's why a lot of kids like working there in the summertime. The tips are really good.
Absolutely. You get a tan. You get to be at the lake. Sounds like a great summer job.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of kids. Even there's a kid that, I say a kid, he's probably 30 now. But I see him at the gym all the time, and he always talks about the marina when he worked out there and how fun it was. And, I mean, I'm sure I'd be the same way if I ever left.
Yeah.
Be like, man, that was a pretty
If
cool
you ever got
job.
to reminisce.
Yeah.
How much of your job is actually behind a desk?
More than I want.
Really?
Yeah, when the new owner first bought us, we weren't corporate at all. He only owned 2 marinas. So it was still kind of had the mom and pop feel about it, even on the business side of it. And then he grew fast and grew to, like I said, 15 marinas. So we're spread from Oklahoma to the Bahamas, Texas, and Florida. And so now we have a huge corporate staff and Teams calls.
Really? Yeah.
Pre-financial calls, service calls. Every Wednesday, no matter what, we do they call it the GM call with all the general managers at 10 a.m. And got to lock the door, get on that call, and we all go through our numbers and education, training, stuff like that. So a lot more than what I originally anticipated, but it's part of it. You have to know your numbers to know what your business is doing.
Absolutely. And to be able to grow. You have to know where you're growing from.
Absolutely.
Yes. Is your marina busy seasonal or year-round, you say?
It's seasonal.
Really?
We have customers that come year-round. They don't care if it's sleeting outside. They will be down on their boat.
Period.
And that's pretty rough because the electric stays on year-round, but the water, we have to winterize the water system so it doesn't freeze. So we have to kill the water once we start getting to those temperatures. That kind of becomes a pain in the butt because you'll have it winterized and then all of a sudden it'll be 30 degrees and then 2 days later it's 70.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, can we have water? Well, that requires a lot of work because we have to drain, after we fill everybody up, we have to drain all the lines. And
It's a lot of preparation.
It is.
Just for you to get some water.
It is.
How much planning goes into preparing for the summer season?
A lot.
When do you start preparing for the summer season?
We'll start preparing, honestly, October.
Really?
October, November, yeah. We start our training schools and classes. We'll go to Florida, do a lot of training. Getting our rental boats ready. We pull them out, put them on the land, and start running them through the shop and doing all the service stuff. We try to do that early just in case we have an early spring so we can start renting boats. There's always dock repair to do, and that's just thanks to Mother Nature. There's always cables and anchors to drop and run. It's just a constant maintenance. But yeah, we'll start that early.
What keeps you busiest during the season?
During the season would be the rental boats, the service department. Once we get past 4th of July, the slip leasing, we require annual contracts. So if you want to rent a boat slip, you're locked into a year. And it terminates March 31st of 2027. But after 4th of July, people want to be on the water for 4th of July. So everybody wants a slip. They want a way to get out there easy. And after July happens, the whole month, it really tapers off and people aren't looking to lease slips. So you got to get it while it's there. We always say you got to make hay when the sun shines. So we have to be on it. We require insurance on every boat in the marina. So that's a chore to keep up with that many boats. We get notifications daily in the mail, and I have to, we have to go in their file and make sure it's current. And then we'll start getting our 2027 contracts ready in October, November, so that they're ready to go once we hit March.
Because you brought up insurance, I'm assuming you have to tag all these boats. Do you tag them all at the same time, or are they sporadic through the year?
The state of Oklahoma makes your tag expires June 30th.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Of course, it's right at 4th of
Summertime,
July
yes.
weekend when people aren't thinking about that. So a lot of people forget, and then they're trying to get on the water with no tag.
Yeah.
The Lake Patrol are they're great. We've got all the 3 Lake Patrol on the lake, keep their boats at our marina.
Nice.
And our customers develop good relationships with them, and they'll give you a warning the first time, you're like, hey, like myself, I didn't even get my tag until the 3rd, Friday.
Nice.
Yeah, I was like, I got all the rental boat tags.
Yeah.
And all the barge tags, but I did not get my own. So.
Hey, at least you could go jump on a rental boat if you had to. How do the weather and lake conditions affect, like, going into holidays? Because I know it stormed on 4th of July.
Yep.
So how do you guys kind of navigate that?
It's the luck of the draw. This year when I booked the fireworks show that we do out there, I called and booked it back in January. Mm-hmm. And I wanted the 4th. I wanted Saturday. Yeah. And the guy laughed at me, and he said, well, you should have booked it in October. And I said, what? Well, being the 250th anniversary of the United States, every small town, everybody wanted fireworks this year. Mm-hmm. So he said, your only options are the 3rd and the 5th. So I had a Friday or a Sunday. Sundays aren't good, in my opinion, just because not everybody's off on Monday.
Yeah.
So people don't want to be out on the water at 9:30 at night watching fireworks and trying to load up and go home and wake up and go to work on Monday. Yeah. So I chose the 4th, which this year was amazing because of the storm on the 4th.
Yes.
If we would have had them on the 4th, we would have had to cancel.
Absolutely, yeah. Because we threw a party here, and it was, like, pouring. And so then it stopped. It, like, started sprinkling, and we had, like, 30 minutes. We shot off as many fireworks as we could.
That's funny. People were still doing it. I live right across the cove from the marina, so I can see the marina from my house.
Yeah.
And we had some issues with the wind that came through, knocked a walkway off, so I had to go over there like 9:30 at night and get the SkyTrack out. And that's the other part of the job people don't see is the behind the scenes, the at night, the late night stuff. And the other side too is I've had to deal with some drownings, some fatalities, and 4 of them that I've dealt with have been customers of the marina. And so that's
really
something
hard.
I have a whole new respect for first responders and firemen, cops, everybody that has to deal with fatalities all the time, because it's something that I was not born to do. Yeah. But I jumped in and had to, help with those situations, and it's something that just kind of leaves its mark on you. You definitely don't forget about it.
Yeah. Well, you'd rather be able to help in that situation than be a bystander.
Absolutely.
And know that you didn't do anything. Yeah. What's the hardest part about managing people, especially teenagers, because that's a lot of your...
That is the majority of them. I workforce in the summer. Not all kids these days, but a pretty good chunk of them, they just haven't had good work ethic. Mm-hmm. And working outside, it's hot. It's fun, but you're outside in the sun and the heat, and a lot of kids just aren't developed for that because they've been sitting inside gaming and doing other things. So, and for me, I have to keep, remembering I'm close 2 years shy of being 60, and I'm dealing with kids that are 15, 16, 17 years old. Mm-hmm. It's tough. That's probably the hardest part, is dealing with the different personalities too. Mm-hmm. It hasn't been so bad in the last couple seasons, but I used to get phone calls from parents, and be like, hey, my daughter got too hot today. And I'm like, well, there's a water jug and ice and
inside.
And I've never told any of them they couldn't go in and take a break and cool off. It's just kind of common sense. So there is a lot of common sense that's not being dished out these days.
Have you had any issues like where you've had to let people go mid-season because of that?
There are. A lot of the times, though, the ones that you're about to get rid of just leave on their own accord because they know it's coming. Mm-hmm. But I have had to do that with a couple of staff in the past, and it's tough because, I don't know, we feel like we're around each other all the time. We just feel like a big family up there. Mm-hmm. So when you have to do it, it's hard to do. That's the hardest part of the job, is terminating someone. Yeah,
absolutely. What qualities make someone successful working at a marina?
Just good work ethic.
Really?
Absolutely. Yeah. You can train everything else, but you can't train good work ethic. You've either got it or you don't. Mm-hmm. And that goes with any industry, even in the restaurant business, working at the Dollar General, working at Target. If you don't have work ethic, you're going to have a long, rough
hard life. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. What's something you've learned about leadership over the years?
Communication is probably the strongest key to being successful. And I am one of those guys that just growing up, I always just did things on my own. I never asked for help. I just would just go do it and make it happen. And and it's something I still battle with. I don't like asking for help. So, and then probably with me, I don't see some problems before they're problems because I think everything is going good. I like to, it's not that I walk around with blinders on. I just give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
But if you ever give that up, then you're just going to turn into a grumpy old person. And I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
These kids that work for us, some of them, it's their first job ever. And they're going to remember this till their dying day. They're going to remember the first job they ever had. They're going to remember their first kiss, their first car, but the first job. And so you can either leave a positive impact on these kids so that when they go to their next job, they're like, wow, I really had a good job my first one. Because they're going to go through many more after leaving us. Fortunately, a lot of our kids come back year after year till they get into college. And there's been times when I've even had kids through the whole 4 years of college come back.
Nice.
And that's nice because the training curve, I don't have to worry about them, and they actually kind of take a leadership role down there and help with the younger staff.
Yeah.
So that's our goal, is just keep kids coming back and coming back.
Yeah. Well, it speaks to how good of a work environment you have if you do have kids that come back all the way through college. How do you keep morale high whenever you have a long, busy, hot weekend?
I like to buy the kids. I'll go to the restaurant and get Shirley Temples, and I go to the grocery store and get donuts and cookies and cupcakes and go down and hand them out.
You're
stuff.
so sweet.
They get excited over that stuff.
Yeah.
We do, one of my newest staff, she's kind of in charge of the ship store, and this year she did the weekend we had our poker run for the Marina, she did a poker run for the kids. And I can't remember the rules, but it made everybody kind of elevate their game and try to, get another card for the day.
Yes.
It's like a little bonus.
Absolutely. I imagine you've seen just about everything. What is the craziest thing you've witnessed at the Marina?
We've had a fire. In 2016, we had a really bad dock fire on Easter Sunday. And I was home in my garage, 9 o'clock, 9:30 at night, get a phone call, Marina's on fire. At the time, I was not the general manager, I was the service manager, but since I lived the closest to anybody there, I was like, okay. So I'd jump in the truck, run over there, and it is engulfed. And it was on the national news. I had my cousin in L.A. saw it. A friend of mine in Houston saw it. The ex-Marina owner from years way back lives in Fort Myers Beach, Florida. He calls. Everybody's like, I saw you on the news. And I was just like, what?
Yeah.
My daughter came with me, and it was funny. So she is like taking pictures and doing Instagram posts and stuff like that. And it was just like blowing up. That was crazy. The windstorm was crazy. But I would say the fatalities. We had a drowning last summer. That was still something that, you think about.
Yeah.
And every summer, me and my staff will always say, man, we thought we saw it all. We thought we've seen it all, and you don't.
Yeah.
There's something new comes along.
Absolutely. What's the funniest customer story you can share?
Funniest customer story? God, there's probably so many. I have a great customer base, and a lot of them, it's interesting. In some aspects, I'm on the third generation.
Oh, perfect.
Because I've been there so long.
Yes.
I don't know. That's a tough one because there's just so many. Every customer down there is a comedian for the most part.
Yeah.
But my staff is the same way. So my staff ribs them, gives them a hard time, and they like it. I don't know. I just don't know if I have one that sticks out.
I'll let you percolate on it. We can come back if you figure one out. What's something that people do on the lake that instantly makes you nervous?
Sea-doos.
Really?
Yeah, when I see kids on Sea-doos, people use them as babysitter. And that's the reason I don't rent Sea-doos anymore. They can be very dangerous. If you know the rules and the law and are responsible, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
I even have one myself. But my kids, I'm on them. Even though my daughter's 30, my son's 24. When they go out, I'm always giving them the rules. You stay away from boats. Before you go whipping around and turning, make sure there's not a boat behind you. Because accidents, they just happen.
Yeah.
And you can be in the right or the wrong. And I don't know, Sea-doos just concern me with younger children.
Yeah, absolutely. Me and my dad, we used to Sea-doo a lot whenever I was a kid. And I remember we flipped one at Keystone. And he had came out and was like floating away. I had to swim to go get the key. My dad had to flip the Sea-Doo back over. It was a situation. We should not have been doing that. Have you ever had to think on your feet to solve a major problem before?
Oh, absolutely. When the windstorm came through in 2023, that happened at night. And so it's dark, the electric's shut off. We've got docks twisted. We got customers out on the docks that are technically trapped because you can't get off the dock. The walkway's gone. So you have to sit there real quick and figure out a way to, I've got temporary walkways. Let's go get the equipment. Let's go do this. And we've done it, unfortunately, with all the floods we've had through the years. I've been dealing with floods for 30 years.
Yeah.
So I'm a pro at it, and I know what's going to flood first, which walkway needs to be put in first, and what needs floats, and how we're going to attach this. So, and my staff I have right now, they've done it enough with me too that they can pretty much just go out there on autopilot and make it happen.
Nice. That's really good that you have such a knowing staff.
Yeah.
That it kind of takes some weight off of your plate.
Yeah, the difference between our marina and a lot of other marinas, like I think Grand Lake only fluctuates maybe 8 to 10 foot. We can fluctuate like 37 foot.
That's a lot.
And that's a whole lot because that changes the whole dynamic of the entire operation of the marina. We have to start worrying about electrical, electric lines being under the water, panel boxes being covered in water. What else? Oh, but anyway, in 2023, we were out there probably till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning just getting people off the dock, making things safe, and then we wake up and it's a whole new world. It was a long summer after that.
Yeah.
Insurance company has to be involved. The insurance company sends out insurance surveyors. We hired an independent dock contractor to come be the guy on our side to make sure they're being fair with us. And here it is 2026, and we're still haven't been paid completely off of what we had a claim for.
Oh
and
my
it's
gosh.
a lot of hoops to jump through.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been 3 years.
Yep.
And they're still doing that. That's crazy. Especially since it's like a business. Like you have to have business insurance. So
we did. We have business loss as well, and that's tough because you have to go back so many years and show them your income for the last 3 years so they can justify what they're going to give you and what you potentially might have made. But that summer was rough. Last summer was rough. We lost 4th of July weekend last summer because of flooding. And we really didn't get to open up and have a decent summer until mid to late August.
Yeah.
And then by Labor Day weekend, it's over.
Yeah. Have you guys had to like shut down your entrances because of flooding before?
We don't, but since we're inside the state park will shut down.
Oh, okay.
But they still allow our customers to have access to their boats.
Okay.
So as long as we can get them in the park and get them down, we'll get them to their boat. Like we had so many walkways tore up in 2023 that we had to just run shuttle boats.
You said, we'll just boat you over there. Don't you worry.
Yeah, in 2019, we did that for the whole summer. That was the record flood.
Oh, my gosh.
We had water in our office, our floors of our office, and we were driving a boat behind my office and up the side of the building and wading through ankle-deep water and loading customers there and then driving around and take them to their docks.
How do you get the water out for that?
That's up to the Corps of Engineers.
Oh, good. Good.
It took a long time for that water to
I was going to say, it's kind of hard to get rid of water when you're on water and all the different things.
Yeah, you're at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Okay. Now we are going to give the people some boating tips.
Okay.
What is something every first-time boat owner should know?
Well, they need to understand what the kill switch is and where it's located, how it operates, but they also need to understand, too, that when you're driving a boat, there's a delayed response in the steering. So whenever you put it in gear, it does not steer like a car, and there are no brakes. That's probably the two most important things to tell people. Because when people come into the dock, they just put it in neutral and coast in and then slam into the dock. So we go through this every weekend with all of our rental boats. Like last Saturday, we had 18 rentals go out. So that's a lot of, and on those boats, there can be anywhere from 10 people to 15 people. So that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Educating them on pulling a tube. But boater safety course is probably one of the best things that people can do. You can get online and do that. But I always tell new boaters, too, go down and talk to the Lake Patrol.
Really?
The Lake Patrol are there to help. They're not out there to run your weekend. They're just out there to make sure everything's safe. Because do you really think they want to deal with a drowning or a fatality or, dragging for a body? They don't. Their job is to go out there and make sure the boat the lake is safe for all the other boaters. And our guys are great. All the Lake Patrol and the Keystone are amazing.
Yeah, every time that I've had to talk to them, they've been super nice.
And they'll do an inspection. I tell people, hey, because people ask me, what do I need in my boat? I said, hey, just go right down there and ask them. They'll do a safety inspection for you on your boat, tell you what you need. And they're like, the Lake Patrol? I'm like, yeah. Everybody's just scared of them, and I don't know why.
Yeah. They're pretty sweet people.
Yeah.
What is the biggest mistake most people make with their first-time boats?
It depends on which type of boat you have. It's just probably the maintenance, the storage. When you buy one and you leave it set outside and not covered up properly, and sometimes even if you do have a cover on it, the interior will start molding and mildewing. But winterizing, a lot of people mess up every year because they don't winterize their boat. They think they know how to do it, or their brother-in-law knows how to do it, or they watched a YouTube video. It's just it's such a big gamble because, you know, on some boats we charge maybe $185, $200 to winterize them. That puts all the liability on us. So if anything were to happen, that motor were to freeze and break in the wintertime storage, then that's on us. As long as we can prove that you didn't go put it back in the water after we winterize it. So there's things we do to kind of mitigate that. But a lot of people go down and they buy a big houseboat or a cruiser. It stays in the water year round, and then they think they've got everything winterized, and next thing you know, it's a $10,000, $15,000 mistake. So just the basic maintenance and the upkeep.
Yeah. How can people make their days smoother on the lake?
Just what I had just said, the maintenance. You know, a lot of people, even to this day, before I don't keep my boat in the marina. I just keep it at my house because I'm a mile from the boat ramp.
Yeah.
But even before I leave, I hook my boat up to the water hose. And I start it up, make sure it's ready to go. Because you don't want to be the guy that backs down the boat ramp and blocks the boat ramp because your boat won't start. And that happens a lot. There's our boat ramp at Pier 51. It's Keystone State Park's boat ramp, but it's a 4-lane ramp, and you'll get one guy backs right down the middle of it and blocks off 2 other lanes. And boat ramp etiquette is probably something people need to think about. But put your drain plug in, get all your ice chests loaded in the parking lot.
Oh, yes.
Do all that stuff before you go down that boat ramp.
Have you had anyone back their truck down the boat ramp?
Multiple times.
Really?
Multiple times. When the lake goes up and down like it just is doing right now, the boat ramp gets slick, covered with algae. So a lot of people will back down there and they'll get their rear tires of their truck on that algae. And then as they're pulling the boat off, it's jerking on that trailer and it's making the boat and truck kind of jerk. And the next thing you know, here comes truck and all into the lake. So if you have a 4-wheel drive, I always tell everybody, put it in 4-wheel drive no matter what, even if you don't think it's slippery, and put your emergency brake on.
Absolutely.
But there's been multiple cases of people putting it, thinking they put it in park when it's still in reverse or still in gear, and they open the door to jump out, and next thing you know, the truck's rolling in. But we've pulled, gosh, at least a dozen trucks out of the lake through the years, and one minivan that wasn't even attached to a boat.
Okay.
That was a strange situation.
Okay. They said, actually, I just thought this would work.
I'm not sure how that one happened, 'cause we kept expecting to see a trailer as we're dragging it up the ramp with the SkyTrack, but you have to dive down and find a bumper or something to hook to and then run a chain up and drag it out.
Yeah. Do you charge every time that you have to pull out a boat or a truck?
If we have to do that, we have to charge.
Yes. Well, I didn't know if it was like part of the thing or tow truck or what.
No, that's the other thing on the lake people don't account for is towing. We don't tow boats at Pier 51. I don't have a tow boat. And to be a commercialized tow vessel, you have to have a different insurance policy. Because you can tow somebody's boat, and as you're bringing them back to the marina or something, you swing the boat around, it hits a dock or something. Now they're going to be like, oh, you just scratched my boat, you're going to pay for it. So we don't have that. The Lake Patrol is probably your first call. They will come get you a lot of the times and bring you back, but they'll leave the boat out there. So towing on Keystone's tough. A lot of people don't realize their insurance policy covers towing. Most of them, I'd say probably 90% have towing in there. So if I wanted to charge you $3,000 to come tow your boat and I bill you, you just turn it over to your insurance and they
nice.
They pay it.
That's nice. So yeah, I didn't know that.
That's probably one of the biggest things too people don't do. They always underinsure their boats. And if, say you've got a 30-foot boat out in the water in the lake and something happens and God forbid it sinks, well, now you've got oil leakage and fuel leaking into the lake, and you're responsible for that.
Really?
And in insurance policies, if you just read your policy, call your agent and make sure, they will tell you, yes, you are covered or no, you're not, but for another $20 a year, we can add it. Mm-hmm. Boat insurance is not that expensive. We require $500,000 minimum liability, and it's a liability policy. So if you were to have that happen, or if your boat were to catch fire and burn 2 boats next to you, your insurance is going to cover it. $500,000 is still not enough, because in 2016 when we had the fire, we lost a dock and 8 boats, and the majority of the boats that were lost didn't have insurance on them. And this was before the new ownership, so we didn't have that in place that we required it. People just took a gamble for years.
Yeah.
And what happened then was the dock, replacement of the dock was almost $500,000, and then 8 boats or 7 boats.
Yeah.
So it goes to court, turns into your insurance company, if you have it, suing this guy or suing this insurance company if he didn't have enough coverage. So at the end of the day, insurance is probably one of the most important things you can do on your boat, especially if you ever took a kid out of one of your kids' friends and were tubing with them and they got hurt and you don't have insurance on that coverage, you could lose everything you got.
Yeah. Which a lot of people don't think about that.
It's not, insurance on a boat is not required in the state of Oklahoma, like it is on a car. It is crazy. I think that's something they need to change. But a lot of people are like, oh man, I don't need insurance. I only paid $5,000 for this boat. I'm like, it's not for that.
Yeah.
It's for the liability
it's the
of
damage
the damage
you can cause with that boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever people do slips, like they rent out slips, do they have to carry the $500,000 liability?
They absolutely do. That's one of our, you're not allowed to pull into that slip until you come to the office and give us your verification.
Absolutely.
And show proof.
Nice.
And then we require your insurance company to mail us your insurance card. And so a lot of times we'll get, non-payment of policy or cancellation, and then we have to call and be like, hey, and they're like, oh, I didn't know.
Yeah. What part of your job brings you the most joy?
I enjoy seeing customers come in that have never been on our lake ever, and they come in to rent a boat. We get customers from Wichita, Kansas, Oklahoma City, Enid, Ponca City, Edmond, all over the state, Texas a lot. But they don't know the lake. They don't know that we have the sandy beaches, but just making sure they have a great experience with the whole thing, because if you can turn a boater's first experience into the worst thing they've ever had, and they'll never want to boat again. They'll be like, I hate boating.
Yeah.
You're like, well, why? Then they'll tell you. So we try to, nix all of that up front and make it as good as an experience possible for you. You can't be 100% on that, because sometimes operator error and people's attitudes just don't want to work.
Yeah, absolutely.
But probably that, just, running into people in town and be like, oh man, I was at your Marina and saw your fireworks show. That was amazing. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
But I've been there for so long that when I go places, people recognize me from being on Channel 6 doing something, and so it's kind of funny.
Do you feel the community when you're out and about?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Yeah. I grew up in Manford, so I went to high school there and still know most everybody in that town. My kids had my daughter had the same elementary school kindergarten teacher that I did growing up. So it's pretty neat. And I ran into her like 3 weeks ago in Reesers. And
oh, that's fun.
I was like, Miss Platt.
Yes. She said, how are you, girl?
And she remembered me too, so that was awesome.
Well, that's good. Were there any moments that you questioned if it was worth it?
Yeah. Every time we have a major catastrophe like the flood or the windstorm, it's exhausting, because it's sun up, sundown. And those days and weeks get long, and they last for months, and you're exhausted. You spend your entire career working at a marina watching other families have fun.
Yeah. While
your family sits at home. That's the other side of this that people don't see, because I get people all the time going, I'd love to have your job. And I'm like, tell me what my job is.
Yeah.
Man, out here in the sunshine on a boat. And I'm like, there's been weeks or months I don't even get on a boat because of dock work and everything else. So people's perception, it's a little different than the reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's kind of the thing that I would say would be the one bummer of the whole job, would be just not spending time with my family in the summers, because I have to do it on my day off. and we go out after the lake's empty on Sunday and everybody's gone, but which is nice because we get the beaches to ourselves. But just not being able to do that. Mm-hmm. My kids grew up with me every weekend at the marina. Mm-hmm. They still got to go boating and stuff, but it was just on off days.
Yeah. How are you able to separate home from work whenever you are home on Sunday?
That is tough because everybody has my cell phone.
Yes.
And my emails ding constantly. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, the things that people think are urgent or emergency are really non-issues that could be handled on our work week.
Yeah.
But people like to wait till they're down there drinking. And so that gets a little frustrating. I used to sleep with my phone under my pillow.
Oh.
Because I would get calls at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning from the docks, and I'd have to respond. And I refuse to do that now.
Yeah.
I tell everybody, if you got an issue, call 911. I'll deal with it tomorrow.
Yes. And then what's a moment you're especially proud of?
I was able to go get my CMM certification, which is a Certified Marina Manager designation.
Nice.
And that took me about a year and a half to do, and I had to go to Seattle for one school, and then it was in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida for the other one. It's something that I'm probably the only CMM in the state of Oklahoma. It's not anything that's kind of a freshwater lake specialty that people do. It's a coastal type thing, but it covers freshwater. And whenever I was told about it, I was like, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be a marina manager, but to say that you're a certified marina manager now, that's pretty cool. You have to get up and do a PowerPoint presentation.
Heck yeah.
And I'm not a PowerPoint guy, so I had to learn all that just for this.
Yes.
So it's pretty cool. Just, I don't know, every chance I've got like a box in my office. I never took the time to hang all my certificates around the office because I've probably got 40 to 50 of them, and it would cover the walls. Mm-hmm. But it's just every time I made a step forward and got another certification, it just made me proud.
Yeah, absolutely.
And knowing people in the industry, it's interesting. I go to the same trade show every year in Fort Lauderdale, and you could walk in there, and I know people from the Netherlands and Belgium now and stuff, and people know who I am, and I know who they are. So it's just as big and spread out as the marina industry is. It's still a small community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and the connections that you got to make.
It
from
is,
that. Yeah. Okay, before we wrap up, what do you enjoy doing when you're actually off work?
I'm constantly working.
Yes,
Well, my wife and I we own a dry cleaners, and we also own a laundromat. So, and then my wife does the kind of backroom accounting at the marina as well.
Oh, perfect.
So sitting at home, we don't just sit and watch movies and get to relax. It's always some question she's been waiting all day to ask me. So you don't ever really get to turn it off.
Yeah.
But if you want to be in the business and own a business, I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah.
There are no days off for business owners. And
Absolutely.
So when people say, must be nice, I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah, it's a $1,000,000 Workweek.
Come get you some. It is.
Yeah.
But I enjoy being a mechanic. I had a 68 Camaro I'd been working on for a long time, rebuilding that, a Corvette, and I've got an old vintage boat that I inherited from a dock customer. It was kind of a cool story.
Wow.
I used to joke with him. He took me skiing behind it for the first time in 1988.
Nice.
And it's a 1964 Correct Craft Mustang. Mm-hmm. So he would take me and all my buddies. He'd pull us around behind that skiing, do it every summer. Mm-hmm. He got older, and the boat just sat. So he would come to the marina, come take me to what used to be Freddy's Steakhouse, and we'd eat a burger. Mm-hmm. And we'd always talk about that boat. And I was like, you think you still could ski behind it? I'm like, yeah, you think you can still pull me? And before we'd leave those conversations, I'd always say, hey, when you die, I'm going to get that boat. Mm. He never had kids, and he would always say, why do you think you're going to get it? I said, because I'm shoo-in for it. I always just run my mouth. And, in about 2017, I get a call at the marina from a guy. He says, hey, I'm such and such. I'm the executor of this guy's estate. And I'm like, I didn't know he died. And he goes, Sean, he was 90 years old. And I'm like, what?
Doing great for 90.
Yeah. And he said, but I'm calling because he left you a boat in his will. And I said, what? I said, no way. He goes, yeah. I said, oh, when can I come see it? When can I come get it? He was like, well, when's the last time you saw it? And I'm like, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It was under a carport covered up, but the next day I went and got it on rotten tires, brought it home, stripped it out, cleaned it up, and I think that's one of the coolest things was taking it out on the lake with my son and my kids, my daughter, and driving it around. And it's one of those boats that I took it to a vintage boat show at Grand Lake about 4 years ago and won a silver award trophy with it.
Nice.
So it's one of those boats, when you see it, people are always staring at it. And it's like driving a Lamborghini down the road. Everybody sees all these other cars all the time, but they rarely see something like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I didn't get it out at all last year because we were flooded, and I still have yet to fire it up this year. But that's my goal this year, is to get it on the water some.
Yeah, what a sentimental gift.
It's cool.
Yeah.
It's one of those boats, too. I had a guy, the first weekend I had it on the lake, I pulled up to the beach, and it looked so nice. And everybody walked down the beach to come to the boat. And he said, what do you want for it? I said, what? He goes, I'll give you $20,000 for it right now. And I'm like, it's not for sale.
Yeah.
I said, you could offer me $50 and it's not for sale. This boat has a story. I skied behind this boat when I was a kid, and now I own it. And it's just going to be passed on down through my children. And
Yeah.
it's just a cool boat.
Yeah, it's a priceless boat.
It is. It is.
What is one goal that you are still chasing?
Probably to find someone to come in and be the next person in line whenever I'm ready to go. It's tough to find because of all the many hats that you wear. And people aren't in school. You know, I've talked to people in Votech before. I said, I wish you'd let me come talk to people about the industry that nobody talks about.
Yeah.
Because the marina industry, people don't realize. Growing up in Manfred, Oklahoma, I never knew that you could work at a marina on a lake in Oklahoma full-time. It'd be a full-time job.
Yeah.
And so the lack of education on the marina industry, the opportunities that are out there to become a marine technician versus an automotive technician. Marine technicians in the Dallas, Houston area right now are making anywhere from $45-50 an hour.
Nice.
And that's just going to continue to rise.
Yeah.
And the marinas are just like me. You want to come in and work for me and go get certified, let's go.
Yeah.
But we just can't find the kids that want to do it.
That wants to stick it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is something that you're trying to get better at as a leader?
Leading.
Really?
Yeah.
Just all together?
It's something that you have to work on daily.
Absolutely.
All the time. The older I get, the more impatient I get. And it's just one of those things, with age comes wisdom, and then you get to a point where you think sometimes you know it all, but you don't.
Yeah.
You know, I learn stuff from some of the newest employees sometimes, but it's just a personal interaction aspect that I feel like I could always do better at, better communication. Like I say, I'm used to doing things on my own and trying to just make things happen, that I don't sit down and look at the whole picture. But just working on me. I would love to retire in the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
And, do something else with the last half of my life. Maybe become a marina member and have a boat at the marina instead of being the guy running it.
Yeah, absolutely. If you had one free weekend with no responsibilities, what would you be doing?
I'd be on the water.
Really?
Yeah. And I like salt water too. I like going into Florida and Bahamas, Hawaii, stuff like that.
Yeah.
You give me a choice, I'm going to be on the sun and sand, and I love it when the temperature gets into the 100-degree mark. People don't. A lot of people don't. They hate it.
Yeah.
And I used to run marathons, so I would run all summer long. I would always pick the hottest day of the year, and I'd go run 3 or 5 miles, come back and just feel energized. I get energy from the sun. My wife knows that too. There'll be days she'll be like, you need to get in the sun. Because I'll be grouchy or grumpy.
Yeah. The vitamin D really
It is.
does it
That
good for
and
you.
going to the gym. I've been religious about going to the gym for the last 10, 12 years. Up until that point, I was running all the time, so I just neglected the gym. I just got it from running. And then I had to have my hips replaced in 2023, so I had to back off of that.
Yeah.
So I really hit the gym hard then.
Both hips or just one?
Both.
Wow, a double hip replacement?
In the same year, yeah.
Oh my gosh. How did you recover from that so quick?
Being in shape before I did it.
Really?
Was one of the things. I started working out as much as I could and doing more leg stuff because, and even after that, I told my wife, I said, I can't imagine being out of shape. And at the time I was in 2023, I was in my mid 50s, but I said, I can't imagine being 60 years old, 70 years old and going through this and not being in shape.
Yeah.
Because I was so excited to get it done and get it over with and be out of pain. And then the next week I'm on a walker, feeling like an old man.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, trying to sit on the toilet, just simple things, and going up and down the stairs. My bedroom's upstairs. So,
Yeah.
but I did as much therapy. They actually didn't call me in therapy because the doctor looked and said, he said, you're in shape, man. He said, you know what to do.
Oh.
And everybody that I've talked to that's had hip replacements is like, you didn't get therapy? I'm like, nope.
That's crazy.
Neither time. He said
Yeah.
the same thing the second time. He goes, you know what to do.
Okay.
I really don't,
Yeah.
but okay.
You said I actually don't, I'm not a physical therapist,
Yeah.
believe it or not. Yeah. That's funny. Well, what is next for the Marina?
Hopefully we get through a great season this year. The water's receding, so a couple of my staff have never even got to go through a full good season of not having high water or storm damage. So really looking forward to this season being a smooth one all the way through and having good revenue numbers, and hopefully we break some records financially, I hope.
Hopefully.
We've got some other repairs and some docks we want to start looking at replacing. But, you know, every season you come up with a new idea, like right in the heat of summer, you're like, dang, you know, we need to start doing this. We need to start doing this.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of room for growth and opportunity.
Do you guys have any exciting events planned for the rest of the summer?
We just got through with our fireworks show, which was on July 3rd. That was huge. We do a Dads and Donuts. Earlier in the season, we did a Folds of Honor cornhole tournament where every dollar that we raise for Folds of Honor, the owner of the company matches 100%. So,
Nice.
which is huge. Last year, our company donated over $86,000 to Folds of Honor.
Wow.
So that's
Amazing.
something our company-wide we all believe in. We have a kick-off the summer party where we cook food for the customers, set up a tent, feed them, play some music. Then we have an end of the summer fish fry every year that we do Labor Day weekend, and everybody loves that. We have fish brought in, we fry it for them, and again have music. We're just trying to keep something happening all summer long. So the next one coming up, I believe, is our Dads and Donuts. And the Moms and Mimosas is always fun. We have donuts and muffins and mimosas at the ship store for our
that's
customers,
sweet.
and they love coming in for that. And then they shop while they're there, which is the whole goal.
Yes, absolutely.
Not the whole goal. I mean, we want to give them something to look forward to.
Yes.
So we're really in tune with doing stuff with our customers, and we always do a Christmas party. The first weekend in December, we'll have live band. This last Christmas, I had one of my guitar players come and play, and I brought mine, and I got up and sang a little bit.
Wow, a
It's-
treat.
It's kind of interesting, though, because a lot of the new customers don't know anything about me, and
Yeah.
they didn't know that I used to sing at that marina for, 25 years. So the older customers know, so they don't, they're just like, it's just Sean. But new people come in, and the next week they're like, we had no idea you could sing. And I'm like, yeah, I used to do that.
You said just a little bit. Just a little bit. Where can people find you guys online?
Keystone Pier 51 Marina is our website page. You can find us on Facebook. I believe we have an Instagram page now. My office admin, Hope, she is the one taking care of all that. She's doing an amazing job.
Yes, she seemed like she was doing great. She's great to
is.
communicate with.
I think those are the only two places right now. But if you ever try to call us and can't reach us, our main phone number, the 918-865-3177, is also textable. So you can text us. It goes to an app on my phone. It goes to an app on every employee's phone. So
Nice.
hopefully we can get back to you in a timely manner.
Absolutely. What's the best way for someone to book a slip, rent equipment, or learn more?
Just call the Marina. Call us on that 865-3177. I have taken multiple people out, new customers, on our rental boat. They come down, they're thinking about buying a boat or thinking about getting a boat slip or don't even know the lake, never been on it. I will be the first person to throw you on a rental boat and take you out and show you a beach. And that's where a lot of customers get hooked right there, is they're like, we didn't know this existed.
Yeah.
And I've always said for years that Lake Keystone is one of the best kept secrets in the state of Oklahoma, because people are always like, it gets a bad rap. People are like, oh, it's so dirty, it's so muddy. Well, it's not true. Our water quality is really good. We constantly have a flow of water feeding it, either from the Arkansas River or the Cimarron. but hence the flooding.
Yeah.
So we have two rivers feeding us and sometimes more than what we want.
Yeah.
But Keystone is it's an amazing lake. When we're 20 minutes, from downtown Tulsa. There's so much to do. Close to Sand Springs, Manford. We've got everything you could want within a 15-mile radius.
Yeah, and the park is really nice.
Like
it's always clean.
So my wife and I were RVers as well. That's one thing I didn't say. And so we like to travel around a lot in the off season. And we try to visit national parks, state parks. And the ones that we've seen when we come back, when we're there, we're always like, man, Keystone State Park is really beautiful.
Yeah.
But when you drive into it all of your life, every day, you don't see what other people see. So it's one of those things that I kind of look at it differently now after seeing other parks. And I'm like, yeah, we've got a really nice facility out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And they just added Jellystone out there, and that's a big
that's
attraction.
been a big draw with the swimming pool and all the little whibbits.
Is there anything we didn't talk about that you wish more people knew about the industry or the marina?
Oh, I just wish, again, I could speak to children in school and show them, and I would put together a PowerPoint presentation as much as I don't like them.
Yes.
And, show them what there is out there, because with our company, we have 15 marinas. So say you come to work for us here in Oklahoma, and one day you're like, hey, if there's ever an opportunity for me to go to Florida or the Bahamas or the Gulf of Texas and work, I want in.
Yeah.
And, man, you'll be on a list. And so if you want to move and go down there and see what the salt life is like and the dry stack facilities, there's so many opportunities and people just don't know about them.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't even think about that being an option. Yeah. And finally, is there anyone that you would like to thank before we wrap it up and head to your work?
Just, my parents and my family, because without the work ethic that my mom and dad instilled in me, I probably wouldn't be where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
My grandfather is the one that insisted I took Vo-Tech in high school because he said a man has to know a trade. And I said, Grandpa, I will go do auto mechanics, but I will not be a mechanic. And he used to laugh at that because I was a boat mechanic for 25 plus years.
Yeah.
And so that's a funny story. But I grew up around hardworking people, and my wife works harder than anybody I know. And for them to set back all these years, and while I'm working, helping everybody else have fun, and they're all, doing their own thing, it's just a lot of gratitude for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us on Million Hour Workweek. I am very excited to see what your workday entails, and we will see you at work. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
If this episode inspired you or taught you something new, subscribe so you don't miss future stories from entrepreneurs who are building businesses one day at a time. Until next time, keep showing up, keep learning, and keep building. Love, Makara.